first fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Hey, in the morning.
Happening right now. Again, Wednesday the 18th, 2026. And of course, we have lots to talk about when it comes to community updates today. There's a lot of those coming on. So, yeah, we'll get prepared for that. And no guest today, but we'll be here for the next 2 hours to have some discussion on some of these news articles that you've been putting in. Friends of First Sky Omaha, we really appreciate you guys doing that. That's the first place to
Hey,
go check when we're looking for what we're going to talk about on the shows. So, shout out to everybody who does that. And yeah, appreciate you guys coming through. In the meantime, between time, how you doing, buddy? How you feeling?
hey, back in the crib,
Okay.
back in Atlanta. Yeah, made it back to Atlanta. Yeah. Made it back about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm tired, boss. But we here. We
Ouch.
here. Yeah,
Ouch.
ouch. My back.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
back. Definitely feeling a little sleep deficit, if you will. But
Yeah.
we're gonna
Same
catch
here.
up.
Same
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Hey, but we're gonna go to the bank. We're gonna go to the bank. Follow the money.
That's
But
right.
yeah, man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know how you are too. Appreciate you guys coming on through. Same with me. Just pushing through the week. Little tired. Didn't get as much sleep last night as I wanted to for whatever reason. But that kind of happens midweek for me. I'm kind of in the middle of the push through for whatever's going on with work and it be on my mind. So it's what happens when you run a business. You guys know, anybody running the business knows it's on your head 24/7 just about. So
Man.
yeah.
Oh. Speaking of running a business and being on your head, I did actually little Houston love a little bit, man. I did
Okay.
stop through Houston on my way back from Atlanta, and I got some Trill Burgers, man. Shout out to Bun B, man. Again, little black entrepreneurship, hip hop entrepreneurship.
That's what's up.
It is follow the money. So wanted to go and support one of my hip hop fellows.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good burger, pretty decent smash burger.
Shout
Shout out to Bun B, the whole H Town UGK alumni family, Corey Moore already. Yeah, support,
Hey,
support,
Trill Burgers.
and
Try it out.
yeah, Trill Burgers, and I don't know how many of you have looked into it. I know we talk about Atlanta and things like that, but Houston actually has grown to be one of the booming African American economies in the country. Actually, one of the fastest growing black economies in the country. Actually, so much so a lot of people are leaving Atlanta to go to Houston
Wow.
to seek prosperity. Yeah, man. I mean, Texas. We might get into it a little later on in the show, but no, income taxes and all that in Texas. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a growing economy. So speaking of follow the money, look into it, y'all. Look into it.
Most deaf. I remember something about back in the day after Hurricane Katrina, and a whole lot of people
Mm-hmm.
from New Orleans moved to the Houston area, and
Yep.
they said that it started booming really, really a lot since then. So interesting to see where they stand now on it. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Well, shout out to everybody who's coming in the chat this morning. I see you guys coming on in.
Yeah.
Kenny Prinsley gives us a good morning. Have courage and seek justice.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Starting us off with the right intentions today. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
RG, what you looking at? What you looking at? Mama God gives us a good morning, fan. Appreciate that. RG says, morning, y'all. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Arrows 402 in the chat says, if you don't hit the like button, do you even first sky, bro? I like that. That's a good
Do
one.
you?
First sky?
What's wrong with you?
Have you been first skied yet? It's
Man,
going down. Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family, and happy Unity Day. It's Queen Latifah's birthday. That's what's up. You and I
man.
fly.
You
Hey.
see that clip of her on the red carpet? She was looking
No,
good. She was looking
no.
good.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
had a little red dress on, looking good.
Always queening. The queen.
Yeah. Shout out to the
I
queen.
tell people this often because they, a lot of times, when you grow up with hip hop like I do, then people always say, "Well, what's the definition?" And I have a handful of songs that I feel like is the definition of hip hop. UNITY is one of my top five
Oh yeah.
all time best hip hop songs representing the culture as far as I'm concerned. UNITY is it.
Man.
Might even be number one. I actually have to think about it.
Mm.
Yeah, like that. Go back. It embodies
Hey.
everything. It embodies everything hip hop's supposed to be, man. Shout out to the queen, for real.
Yeah, man.
RG says, hey, man, I heard the Trill Burgers are fire. Yeah, that's what's up.
I have some footage coming soon. Look out for that.
Bun B's back Black Rodeo, yeah. Don't forget about the Black Rodeo he's been a part of.
Man. I had a conversation with some cats that was a part of that. Do you think that would be something that could be successful brought to Omaha?
I do. I early on learned that the rodeos that they have over there at CHI Center now, when I was
Hmm.
looking at it, it was Quest Center back in the day.
Right,
Uh,
right,
but
right, right. I'm a
those were the
quest.
ones that sold out that space more than any other shows was the
Hmm.
rodeos here. So
Hmm.
yeah, black rodeo situation. I really feel like there's a lot of folks that would come out black, white, and otherwise to that. So yeah, anything to me, anything that's rodeo based and that type of situation, I feel like would go well here, whatever it is.
Man, okay. That and the Southern Soul Wave. Just I don't know if y'all been
Mm-hmm.
peeping that. Yeah,
Southern
yeah,
Soul Wave, yeah. We'll
yeah.
be have to be talking about it for sure. RG says that was the equalizer y'all saw. Um, speaking of burgers, as soon as I get out to Cali, I got to hit Marathon Burger. There's a lot of burger joints opening up
Yeah,
and seen big time. So that's what's up, man. I love the fact that there's a lot of food businesses and chains and stuff happening in the culture right now as well. So yeah, so shout out to everybody, Bun B. Shout out to everybody who's in on this situation here with this, man. They see a need. You got to get into a field. We have this theory called the basic needs theory. If you're not working in basic needs, then you spinning your wheels out here. One of the basic needs is food. Every hood needs more food. We're in a food desert on so many different levels in so many different
man,
cities that it's just like, man, get into the business, figure it out. So
man.
that's what's up. Appreciate that. If you're just joining us, we're just firing it up right now. We got a lot of community updates, so we're going to jump in. Again, appreciate everybody who coming through this morning. Do us a favor and share the show. If you're on Facebook, I haven't seen any Facebook. Oh yeah, Judy Prince
Yeah,
is on Facebook. Okay, cool. Sometimes I'd be worried about Facebook working. Sometimes it
man.
works, sometimes it don't. So, yeah, if you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show. I see
Okay.
Brother McGaw's on here too. Good morning, family. Good
Yeah.
morning.
Top of the morning, cuz. Top of the morning. I'm gonna holla at you. I'm gonna holla at you.
Holla, 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 holla,
Holla,
holla.
holla, holla.
And if you're on YouTube, share the link and to anybody who you think would benefit from these conversations and want to involve them in the chat as well. Shout out to the chat chimers who got up early this morning with us, and shout out to you, the ghost listeners, checking us out as well, and even the monitoring spirits who
Hey.
just trying to keep track of what they feel like the opposition is doing. I appreciate you for coming on through, checking us out as well. Anyway, we're going to jump into a lot of community updates today, so bear with us. We got a few things happening right now. I'm just going down the list. Of
Hey,
course, this is tomorrow's the last day for the speaker and art series over at the Durham Museum. I believe this is going to be Brother Dana Murray speaking tomorrow. I got to double check on that, but definitely check out the who's going to be speaking for the last one. This is March 19th, so the last one is tomorrow. Check it out. The Durham's been going hard with their Green Book exhibit, which you definitely also this goes through May 3rd, so you have some time to see that. But the speaker series that they attached to this in order for to extend Black History Month, basically is what they did over there with this art series. Check them out. Check them out. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out some of the speakers, then try to do so tomorrow. Shout out to Durham Museum for putting it down. Also, don't forget about the vote for the Great Plains Black History Museum. The vote is the Omaha Tourism Awards, and that's closing April 2nd. But we want to keep on making sure that we push it out there. That they're kind of it's the David and Goliath situation over there. They're kind of the David. So there's a lot of there's the Jocelyn. There's a few things on this list, and we're saying yeah, take a look at the list and see if the Great Plains Black History Museum deserves a vote for this tourism award. Shout out to the Omaha Tourism Board and everybody who's doing that. The tourismawards.com is where you can get that information. So I just
yeah.
wanted to put that back out there for sure.
They already know about the zoo, man. Come on, y'all. Let's come on. Come on. Let's get it together.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We still got tickets for Grandma that's happening on March 24th. So if you want a couple tickets to go see this movie over at Film Streams, shout out to Film Streams for doing this. And also shout out to them for the films that they are bringing to you and also the talks after the films. They're really making themselves a third space where people can have some conversation around some topics. So this is a part of that series as well. Shout out to Film Streams for putting this out. If you want to check Grandma out and you want a couple free tickets, hit us up. Like and subscribe over on YouTube, and then send us an email letting us know that you did that at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Appreciate it. Also, Sermons with Sherman is coming back on the 24th. I'm seeing him wrap up his publicity for this as well. So shout out to him for bringing his show back. This is a pretty fiery show that he always has, always entertaining and always getting down to business when it comes to it. He wants to speak with the people this time around. So he's going to have some open mic, some phone calls, and all kinds of stuff going on the 24th. So be looking out for his show. You can go to his page, Sherman L. Wells, on Facebook and also on YouTube, and dive in there as well, for sure. So appreciate that coming back, man. I'm always happy about about that coming back. I love his show. You always learn so much.
It's Big Sherm, fool. Big Sherm.
Big Sherm. This is going to be seriously interesting. This thing that's happened here on the 19th. Black, but not the art. Breaking the frame. Art in conversation. A lot of artists, a lot of panelists here. This is happening. I'm seeing some folks that we know in the panel, and of course, Jade Rogers is going to be the one who is going to be moderating this. This is at the Nichols Street Gallery at Hot Shops. I don't know if you've been to Hot Shops this year. 1301 Nicholas Street. Definitely go check this out. Anything that Jade Rogers from the House of Afro Capes and Curls puts together or is a part of is usually seriously fire. So shout out to her. Shout out to everybody who's here, all the crew. I'm seeing Pamela. I'm seeing Noni. I'm seeing Tony. I'm seeing Javon. I'm seeing some folks on here that we really want to hear from. Shout out to Ange Bennett as well, who put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Shout out to the artists, man. This is not a Love Supreme Friday, but shout out to the artists anyway. Doing the work. Doing the good work. Appreciate that. There's another Black, Brown, and Red Coalition bi-monthly meeting coming up on the 18th. That's tomorrow at 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the North Omaha Community Partnership. North Omaha Community Partnership. No, that's who's putting this on. Black, Brown, and Red Coalition bi-monthly. We'll have to get the exact spot that this is happening. If you know, let us know in the chat. If not, we'll find that and put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. But shout out to them for continuing this meeting. This meeting has been going on longer than I expected it did. Like longer than it came into my purview. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know it was happening. But it has been happening. It's been going on for a while, and I'm anxious to see what kind of solidarity they're building here with this Black, Brown, and Red Coalition bi-monthly meeting. If you've been a part of that, I'd love to hear from you. Tell us about how those meetings go. That'd be awesome to hear about. And we'll dive in a little bit more. Moving right along, Marcy Yates got a show coming up. This is on the 20th of March from 8 to 11. Anybody been to the Garden at 1207 Harney Street? I've been seeing a lot of shows happening over at the Garden. A lot of the First Sky fam, like here's Marcy Yates going to do a show over there. I haven't been over there yet. Anybody seen that venue and been a part of that? Love to hear from you on that. See how that venue is. 95.7 The Boss is always a part of this as well. So, yeah.
Been hearing some things about it.
Have you?
Seen a few shows. I've seen a few shows, a few events down there. So yeah, I haven't been myself, but yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, have to go check it out. Let us know if you've been to any of these, and then definitely support Marcy Yates, who's out promoting his new album that we just had him on the show recently. Go back and check that out on YouTube. But he's talked about his new album, and he's out here promoting it again. Man, we're talking about physical media. Go to Homer's, get your record. That's what it's all about these days, man. For real.
Yeah. Vanilla Skies too.
There you go. We talked about that Tenaska Center for Arts Engagement. It's coming. It's opening now. So they said, come see what we've built for you. And I definitely think that you ought to go check that out. Some of the dates, the ribbon cutting is happening March 19th at 10 o'clock. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. The open house will be Sunday, March 22nd from 12 to 4. You can take a Sunday and go stroll around, check it out. And then Community Day, Saturday, April 11th, 9:30 to 5. And a block party. So they're having a serious celebration, 3-day situation going on for this for the grand opening. That's how you do a grand opening right there, man. Shout out to Omaha Performing Arts on that. If you are interested in this, check this out, man. We've been talking about this place too, all the arts that they're going to be teaching, which, they have this is Omaha Performing Arts. So they got the Orpheum and they got the Holland, they got all these places to perform and, where they bring in acts, but now this is their venture into contributing to Omaha in the way that Omaha kids and people who are in the arts can have another place to go learn and engage. So we're all for it.
Yeah. I mean, to just kind of add a little more context, we've been talking about Peacock Corners, not too far from the Deuce, man. Again, it's a hop, skip, and a jump from the Deuce. So if you're training young, black kids, black and brown and Asian and minority kids in North Omaha to perform and be proficient in the arts. Take them right down the road.
Man, more resources, the better. That's
There you
real.
go. There you go.
That's real.
He got corner.
P got corners going down. Wanted to give a shout out to the LaFleurs. They're in the Midlands Business Journal this month, and definitely check them out, man. Kay LaFleur has been around for a while, and just to give a little shine, a little light, give a little, give some flowers to LaFleur's Fashions. It's been around, it's kind of institution around here. So shout out to them in the Midlands Business Journal, which is one of the magazines associated with Omaha Magazine, if you guys didn't know. And sometimes people ask me, how does Omaha Magazine even stay afloat? Well, they have several magazines, several journals. Midlands Business Journal is one of them, and you've seen those everywhere. Every lawyer's office, doctor's office. They're actually a pretty solid journal that allows you to really engage. If you're in business, you can kind of find out about other businesses and business to business, functions and things that they set up for other people to kind of make connections and do business with each other as well. So shout out to Midlands Business Journal, and shout out to them for featuring LaFleur's Fashions. I think that's pretty all right. I got something going on over there at Omaha Magazine. I'm telling you, something's changing over there for sure. Kind of, yeah, it's going down. We got a few more things coming, of course, and I'll save a few of those for a little bit later on in the show. But if you have any haps, anything that's going on in the community that we need to be paying attention to, please put them in the chat, or you can always put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. I appreciate everybody that's already doing that. That's where we pulled some of these already. So again, appreciate everybody that is a part of letting us, keeping us abreast of what's going on around here.
Yeah,
That's what this is all about for sure. That's what's up. Sean McCarthy in the chat gives us a morning, First Sky team and chimers. Kimber Snipes gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Can't wait to speak to you next week for sure. She says, I went to the Durham Saturday. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Tell us how it was.
Yeah.
Love it. Pops in the chat says, good Wednesday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops.
Hey.
It's one of your favorite days.
Yeah. What's the weather like out there?
Yeah. Speaking of weather.
Yeah, we'll get into it, man. It's cold. It's cold out here.
It's about to be 70 today, bro. So I'm sorry for you. Omaha's going to be about 70. So you can have that.
Yeah, bro. It's burr. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about it.
Oh, man. Kimber says, excuse me, vote in all the categories. They have minority-led biz and orgs in several of them. Are you talking about with the tourism awards?
Yep. Yeah, she mentioned that during the tourism situation.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Kimber also said, Paul, your family's so amazing, by the way. Really lifted me up this week. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, you talking about, running into, okay. That's what's up. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. She says the Black and Brown caucuses are held in Lincoln today. We still have some room, I believe. Okay. They're heading up there.
So you're part of that?
Yeah.
She says we.
That's what's up. RG says, I need to go back to LaFleur's and pick up another walking suit.
Come on, man.
You know who else you got to tap, man? You got to tap Styles of Evolution on the other side of the deuce, because they got now you talking about getting into some walking suits. Do y'all know what walking suits is? Because let me tell you something right now about it. Let me tell you something right now. I'm thinking about throwing a walking suit party. I want all the young cats to go get these old head suits called walking suits. They used to call them leisure suits back in the day, but they're like the updated leisure suit. They call them walking suits. And I was talking to the brother over at Styles of Evolution about them, and he sold me on them. I was like, we got to have a walking suit party around here for real.
Get all the young quarter zip cats.
Yes, that's exactly what them quarter zips hit, bro. The first thing I went to do was went to Styles of Evolution. They had a couple of them there already. I was like, y'all are on it for real. That's what's up. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you. Kimber Snipe says, One Omaha is working with Nona Sona Midtown Neighborhood Alliance, BAA, Gramercy Park, Latino Center of the Midlands. Boy, you working with everybody.
Okay. Everybody.
I'll be hosting neighborhood needs assessment in 2 locations in North Omaha, Midtown, and South Omaha for a total of 6.
Okay.
Can't wait to talk to you about this when you come on the show next week. Tune in next week. She'll be on the show next Wednesday. We'll definitely be talking about it for sure. Michael Lee gives us a good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat says national trainers coming to town this weekend to lead a series of trainings on building and maintaining actual organizing and coalition infrastructure. That's what's up.
Okay.
Definitely drop some more information on that on us. Put that in the chat, or friends of First Sky Omaha, or both, if you would. Love to
Yeah.
hear about that for sure. Yep. Appreciate that. RG says, tell him about that old man, Smooth Energy, BZ.
Mm.
Yo,
Pinky's up. Pinky's up.
tendonism. That's what it is.
Hey, he do be in the walkers.
That's what it is. Tendonism. Look,
Hey,
man. Look,
man.
we got some.
Hey,
Yeah, our people are something else. We
man.
having some stuff
Hey.
going on.
Shout out to that brother though. He got his food truck though. We haven't really talked much about that story, but if you didn't know, man, they try to take the brother's likeness and style and steez and all of that. But he
Man,
prevailed in the end. Shout out to that brother.
they
Tenderness.
really do. What's that? He's everybody is talking about the comparison. He reminds them of that character that Martin did on the show. What was the Roscoe? He talks just like him, bro. That tenderness brother's too cool, man. We we can go all day on talking about that. Well, let's get back to where we're at. That's it for now. We'll jump into some more haps and some more community updates a little later on the show. But let's jump into today's thread before it gets too far away from us. 7:22 right now already. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, buddy, what's on our minds today?
Yeah. Well, again, on Monday, as we like to do around here, at least try to do, we set our intentions, and there's a couple of stories that we did not get to get into that we'll be touching on, and then also continuing kind of our conversation that we had with Brother Preston Love Jr. about the six to dismiss. There's definitely some things to get into. Still looking at the midterms, preparing for that. There's actually an update in the Marco Martinez saga. If you haven't heard, there's been some back and forth between Brother Marco Martinez, who is a part of the to dismiss campaign that we've been pushing. Again, he is challenging Sheriff Aaron Hansen for his seat, but again, his candidacy or legitimacy really has been called to question, and that has now made its way to the Supreme Court. So we'll kind of get into that situation, and the GOP has actually called out another candidate. They're making it a thing now, calling out candidates, trying to undermine candidates as we get closer to the primary in this midterm election. So we'll kind of peek an eye into that situation. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright already kind of touching on it in the chat, talking about the data centers. He says a popular education town hall on data centers will be happening in 2 weeks. Definitely let us know because we've been talking about it here on the show, and I hate to say it, but we've been right. It's happening. Again, Google has proposed now a massive data center that, according to Flatwater Free Press, will require more power than Lincoln. Yes, the city of Lincoln. We're going to be talking about that definitely throughout today's show. Also, in other news, speaking of, there's some travel things I definitely wanted to get into. As some of you may know, I traveled to Texas over the week and over the weekend to South by Southwest. Made my way through Austin, and I'm feeling the weight of travel, man. I'm seeing the lines in the airports. I'm seeing the gas prices go up. I'm feeling the temperature change. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some of that stuff going on, especially those of you who have young folk traveling for spring break. I guess, are the kids out for spring break? Is that going on? Yeah, let us know. Let us know. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about some of those things here in a bit. Also, what else am I missing? I feel like I am missing some things on this here Wednesday as far as our stories. Big shout out again to those of you who have dropped things into Friends of First Sky. Definitely want to talk about this postal service situation as well. And also, that was the big one. Didn't really get to talk about it last episode. But following the money, again, there is a proposal to get away from income and property taxes in Nebraska. I definitely want to talk about that, especially in face of the budget deficit in Nebraska. Yeah, a lot to touch on with that. And of course, in the second hour, get a little looser looking at some solutions. What are you doing to shore up your bottom line, your bottom dollar, especially with all these changes? Again, a lot of countries on the world scale kind of viewing the writing on the wall as far as the pending wars and international impact. Again, not just the trauma that we see in the news, but the bottom line. Gas prices aren't the only thing that's going up. I don't know if you heard about this fertilizer now being impacted, which means food will be impacted. Yeah, I see your face, Paul. We got some things to talk about. So again, all that and more. Of course, if there's anything we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Let us know what's going on in your world. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
What's the
yo.
word? What's the word? What you seeing? What's going
Anthony
on?
Rogers Wright got one more thing. He said last thing, the second semester of Socialist Night School commences next week. Sold out, but hit me if you're interested and we can look into finding space for you. That's
Okay.
what's up. This is another one that we'd love to hear back from you on this meeting too. So give us some more information, put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. And then of course, if anybody who shows up to this would love to hear back on the show about the meeting. Also, Kimmer says, let's not forget that Judge Vaughn has been appointed to Nebraska Supreme Court. Okay, I made a note of this and then did not go back and do the research on it this morning. So I appreciate you reminding us on this. We'll definitely have to look into it for sure. Also, Marlon Harrison says this winter spring break right now. Yeah, kids are out for sure this week. So appreciate that. Anthony Rogers Wright says recording of last month's Data Center Popular Education Series where we discuss the similarities between community benefit agreements and colonialization. You got a recording of that? Love to hear about that. Yeah, or if they can make it public, post that. Definitely would love to check it out. I appreciate that. Again, if you have any other community updates or haps that's going on around town that we need to know about, let us know. You can do it in the chat here or put it on Friends of First Sky Omaha so we get for all to see as well. We'll take a quick break and we'll jump back into the conversation. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God. We'll be right back, y'all.
Or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet. The ballot or the bullet.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God, going off about 2 hours of sleep between us.
Man.
Yeah, but we here. We appreciate you guys being here too. That last slide, if you saw that, we are definitely in Nebraska Public Transit Week still. March 15th through the 21st. I think there's some free bus rides and things that you can take advantage of. So I highly encourage you to look into this. Shout out to Clarice Domback for putting this in Friends of First Sky Omaha, letting us know about it. And we saw some stuff about the mayor riding the bus here recently. Said Metro Transit of Omaha says, thank you to Mayor John W. Ewing Jr. for joining Metro Transit CEO Lauren Sinsick on board Route 18 today. Public transit can only connect people when local government yada. Go check it out. Metro Transit Omaha giving them a shout out. Shout out to brother John Ewan, hardest working man in politics everywhere, all the time, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, take advantage of that for sure. And maybe we'll have to have Miss Clarice Don back on to tell us how the week went when it's over. So yeah, do you ride the bus?
Good question.
Let us know. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Also, RG says, yeah, I think they got links blocked. Okay. Who for what? Who you do? Who's blocking links for what? Let us know.
Us, I guess. Brother Anthony Rogers Wright trying to drop a link in the chat about the data center series.
Okay, that's the first I heard of that. But hey, the Burligarch's tools always changing on us. So you put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha, or you can send it to us at firstsky.omaha@gmail as well, and then we'll get it up. We'll get it up too. Julie Princess says Africa on a Plate Omaha, all you can eat buffet for $17.99 this Saturday noon to 8, or when the food runs out. Okay.
Still keeping it going.
Yeah, appreciate you, Judy Princer, keeping that going. Our friends over there, Africa on a Plate Omaha, definitely check them out. Yeah, that's what's up. Keep it moving. We got to try to save. We got to try to help some of these small businesses out here for sure.
Appreciate sure, that. Man. Speaking of keeping it moving, it's about 8:30. Let's go ahead and dive into it if that's all right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man, and we'll stick right there. We're moving around, as I mentioned. It is, I guess, spring break. I was hearing about the spring breakers invading Houston while I was down there in Texas. Any of you have any young folk traveling for spring break, getting out there? Any of you doing any traveling for spring break? I know, Marlon, you're in the the education space, taking a break. You traveling? What you doing? And if you are, got a couple cautionary tales to look out for. So definitely be careful during this travel season, starting with actually the fire that's going on in Nebraska. Anybody planning on traveling westward might want to look out,
Mm.
as again this wildfire is kind of getting out of hand in western Nebraska now. Again, 600,000 plus acres at zero contamination,
Wow.
as leaders update on how agencies are working together to now what they're saying contain the largest natural wildfire in the state's history. So again, it is still raging on. I do know we did speak about one confirmed death, which happened to be the governor's grandmother.
It
Um,
we I went back on that. Was that the governor's grandmother? I wanted to know if we misspoke on that.
that's
I,
from reports that I've seen. Again, if
is it
there's
okay?
anything that has come out said otherwise.
You seen those reports? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Got it. All right. Sorry about that. I meant to double check with you before the show. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay, okay, yeah. Um, but yeah, and if there's, I don't know if there's had been any updates as far as casualties in this situation since. But again, as I'm thinking of those traveling for spring break, even if you're flying through this, smoke rises, or if you have to drive, yeah, I know a lot of people go to Denver, LA, things like that for travel, Vegas maybe.
Mm.
Again, just be safe, be safe. Also, in other news, speaking of that, as those make their way for spring break, man, you might want to plan ahead if you're planning on flying in the airports. Again, we talked about the whole TSA situation earlier this week, and it actually is again continuing as lines continue to remain long. Travelers at Omaha's Eppley Airfield scramble again, facing flight cancellations, not just with some of the cold temperatures that I know is 70 today, but the cold temperatures that it wasn't just 7 yesterday. I don't.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, exactly. So between that and also the partial government shutdown, which we briefly talked about here on the show, leading to widespread travel disruptions. Again, not just in Omaha, Eppley, but really across the nation. Again, as I was down in Texas, a few buddies of mine went to go get a rental, and they had to wait, an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get a rental. So that's not even going through TSA or
Mm.
anything. So again, if you're planning on traveling for this spring break, yeah, man, you might, I don't know, might want to hit the road. Might want to hit the road.
Yeah, we've been reporting about long lines. I was just thinking about Texas the other day. About they were the first ones that I heard that had 3 and 4 and 5 hour waits with the TSA situation, and I hadn't heard that it hit Eppley yet until this article came out the other day. So apparently Eppley too has been hit with this, and they've been waiting 2 and 3 hours. And for us, this is just kind of unheard of when it comes to Eppley. You usually can breeze in there maybe about an hour before because it's a small airport, so on and so forth. But if they got 2 and 3 hour waits, and every place else, all the international spots like
Yeah.
Denver, yeah, it's kind of incredible, man. We even got my man from West Omaha that's bringing meals to the TSA people again. Remember he did that last time the government shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing it again because TSA and them ain't getting paid. So a lot of people calling in. This time they're not just calling in. Not now they're doing a little protesting and stuff. So they're like, listen, get this back going. It's been a month now. They haven't got a check in a month. So when that first comes around, that check don't hit. You be ready to
Man, get tight.
yeah,
Get tight.
things getting tight. So of course that has led to everything that's led to travel just seems crazy. I can't see getting on a plane right now. Let us know, man. We know we got cloud hoppers in the chat like Anthony Rogers, right? You always somewhere. How's this affecting your life? I know that when we talk about spring break, I feel like Omaha people go out. There's not a lot of people coming in to Omaha for spring break. A lot of people go out for spring break. So again, are you hopping in the car? Or are you deciding not to go right now? Let us know how you feel about air travel and how it's affected your life as well. Love to hear about that.
Man, not to mention the prices of the tickets going up, as a response to this oil situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, a few people in the chat saying that they're planning on hitting the road. Kimmer says have a road trip. I drove to Dallas twice last summer.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, not a bad drive, not a bad drive. Road
Goodness
Warriors.
street.
Sean McCarthy says, I might be choosing to drive to Chicago next time if the delays are going to be like this. Yeah, but you also want to take into consideration gas prices because those are also clearly going up, man. I'm seeing an obvious 40 cents increase just in the weekend or so that I traveled. So yeah, man, for those out there, let us know what you're seeing. And if you're planning on traveling, not just for spring break, but just for anything, let us know. Anthony Rogers Wright also reminding us about the DC area. He says it took 2 days to get back to Omaha from DC due to the
Wow.
flight situation. It was gnarly, man. I didn't know you got caught up in that. Yeah, that was a whole other situation. We didn't really talk about it in too much depth, but yeah, airports in the DC kind of Philadelphia area were shut down due to reports of a chemical smell coming through the air
Mm,
control vents. Yeah, yeah. Not
mm.
quite sure what the source of that was, but there was an investigation and it caused some delays in the DC area, so much so that again air traffic control had to evacuate the situation.
I wonder if it's meteorites hit over there or something.
Man, we did anybody hear speaking of that? I just want to know. Did anybody hear any booms? I'm hearing reports of booms and now sounds. Did anybody hear anything? Let us know. Let us
I want to hear no booms during wartime. Is all I know.
know.
Kimmer also said one of my staff members have been stuck at an airport in Denver for 2 days. I knew Denver was going to get it. I love what
Man.
that's what I'm saying right here. But y'all show all the love to the TSA agents. They're being amazing, lighthearted, and just a simple show of solidarity and thank you really makes their days. That's what's up. It can be a frustrating time. It's already when things are going well. It's already frustrating to be at the airport
TSA.
dealing with TSA. So I
Yeah.
can imagine what they're going through right now in a big way. So yeah, shout out. I appreciate that. Show all the love to TSA agents for sure. RG says I don't hear about Lake Havasu anymore. Haven't you didn't hear about Lake Havasu? Haven't heard that name since MTV Spring Break days. Oh man,
Yeah.
I knew what you were talking about for a minute, bro, because I lived right around there. So Lake Havasu was where everybody went all the time. I was like, what you know about Lake Havasu? What happened at Lake Havasu?
Oh, you was in the
Uh,
area?
yeah, that was the spot to go. Yeah, it was definitely especially in the '90s, spring break, Lake Havasu,
Yeah.
and around the
Yeah.
area that I grew up for sure. That
Spring
was
fling,
man.
spring breakers.
Ariel's 402 says if I was a TSA and not getting paid, I'm working and you are flying, you would get zero customer service from me. Yeah,
Hey.
if I was TSA, you get zero from me too because I'd be at home. I'm not
Man,
getting paid. I gotta go. I
they're,
gotta go make some money elsewheres. You know
they're
what I mean?
quitting. They are quitting.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Oh, from Detroit. Oh, in Detroit. You saying Detroit was one of your staff members was stuck in Detroit? Okay.
Oh, okay.
I
Voice
was
to
wondering
text.
how
Okay.
Denver was. That's the international hub that everybody
Yeah.
from Omaha has to hit just about. And I'm like, I know that's got to be tore up, but yeah, Detroit, I can understand.
Atlanta
Appreciate
too.
it. Yeah, Atlanta too. I bet. This in New York is off the hook. New York is off the hook right now, bro. Like 5 hour waits. So yeah, it's going down, and I just like I said, I was supposed to be doing some traveling around this time, and I'm just like, if I ain't driving, I can't do it right now. I just can't do it.
Man.
So the biggest thing for me is the time frame. I'm thinking about spring break, for instance. Teachers. I got teachers in my family now. If they got to get away, they can't take 2 days to drive somewhere, spend 3 days there, and take 2 days to drive back in that week. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So
And
it's
it's more than that. I'm getting up there. I had to take a extra day to prepare for the day to drive. Like
yeah, yeah, it ain't no joke, bro.
yeah.
Time frame got us hemmed up. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to kind of make sure that we got the information out there about what's happening with the airline situation. Since this is a time when the weather gets better, we all start making plans and doing things, and it's really another time to just reevaluate that. I kind of named this Wellness Wednesday in honor of Marlon Harrison. It always kind of brings that to our attention, and I'm thinking in the grand scheme of everything that's going on in our world right now, how is our mental health? How's
Man.
our financial health? Even how are we? Are we paying attention to the way that things that are happening around us are affecting us? Because all of life is different right now. Everything is different
Man.
right now.
It really is. To that point. I'm glad you said that. Let's move to the next story, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
it goes right with that. Actually, shout out to Mama God in the chat. Appreciate what she also says. She says Congress trying to fund TSA, but continue the ICE shutdown. To continue ICE shutdown. GOP opposed. Isn't it time for TSA to be privatized? And that sparked the thought of the next story as far as something else that has been discussed to be privatized. We're talking about movement, something else that's struggling to move, and I'm talking about the mail. Again, there has been conversation about USPS being privatized. There's been, law changes now to where USPS doesn't even have to send your mail. There's actually been reports of mail actually not being sent in the Omaha area. Some people are again saying they're not getting their mail. And now this being reported by NPR, the Postal Service may be out of cash by next year, by as soon as next year without Congress's help. That's according to the Postmaster. Again, in the article, shout out to NPR for continuing their reporting because they have also dealt with issues. But it continues business as usual. The U.S. Postal Service is on track to run out of cash for paying its workers and vendors in about a year and may have to stop deliveries, according to the Postmaster General David Steiner, who told lawmakers this last week. This warning is the latest development in a long-standing money trouble saga for USPS, a unique federal agency that relies on stamps and service fees, not tax dollars, to deliver mail packages 6 days a week to every address in the country. I am not sure that the American public is aware that the Postal Service is at a critical juncture. I know that I wasn't aware of the extent of it before I took on this role, but at our current run rate, and if we continue to pay our required obligations in the same manner as we have done in recent years, then we will be out of cash in less than 12 months. So again, looking down the barrel in a year, man, at one point in time, going to your point, Paul, of things just not being the same, a mail carrier was one of the most secure jobs you can probably get.
What you talking about? Secure jobs? I'm talking about secure mail service. Can you imagine if our mail service stops?
Man, I mean, it's tax time. People waiting on that refund check.
It's supposed to be rain, sleet, or snow, and now it might be we don't even get the mail, bro. Like you talking about, you say everything in life is different. Everything in life is different, bro. This jumps me back. I feel like when Trump first got in, there was some changes that he made with the mail service, and now I got to go back and look and see what those were. But I remember thinking, what's he doing with the mail? What's he doing with the postal service? There were some things that happened back in those days, and then I'm jumping up to probably about two weeks ago. There was a bill out there that was making it so that you couldn't sue your mail carrier if your mail carrier just didn't want to deliver your mail. You couldn't do nothing about it. They were making it so you couldn't do nothing about it. So there's been these changes. Was he trying to privatize? What exactly? I got to think back of what the strategy was, what he was trying to do here back in the day. Because how do we get to the point now where you just read a report that said by 2027? I read a report that said by this fall we won't have mail carriers.
What?
Right. Unless they get some money. So follow who's Michael Lee says we shouldn't privatize these services. We should have a confident, stable government. I mean,
that part would be nice. It would be nice. It'd be nice.
I mean,
and the fact that this, again, let's not skip over the part that the Postal Service, according to the report, isn't funded by tax dollars. So this has nothing to do with the ICE Department of Education. I don't know yet.
Are you sure it don't have nothing to do with it?
As far as directly, it's not necessarily wrapped up in tax dollars. I think this has more to do with, the other services and people not going to the mail.
I may be on that tip too if I wasn't remembering what Trump was trying to do when he first got into office with the.
Definitely. Let's take in consideration the SAVE Act of it all and the fact that mail-in ballots are being undermined, and mail-in voting has something to do with all of this. Let's not play about this.
Hey, and you know what else I was just thinking too? I remember a report now too about 2 weeks ago where they were saying now that this situation is where your mail carrier don't put something in your box at a certain moment, they've changed the law to where now it has to do with it doesn't have to do with the timestamp, right? So they everything
their postmark.
Right. They're saying people are going to be missing payments on stuff and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the postmark situation. There's too many things in the mail about the postal service here in this administration that's got me like, what is the play? What's the play here? Michael Lee says half of the problem for USPS is that Trump and people believe it should run as a business, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't. We can demand better services. I mean, isn't it running as a business now? If our tax dollars aren't paying for it, how is the postal service running? RG said, rain, sleet, or snow, because of this administration, it might not go. You got bars. You got bars, RG.
Hey.
Pop says Trump kicked out the postmaster general. That's what it was. Thanks, Pop.
Yeah.
He says who was competent, and replaced him with someone who barely knew how to send a postcard. No one knew way back then. Now this is what I'm saying. Every time that he will pull somebody out and put one of his folks in, he got to please. There's a play there. There's the play there. What is it? Who's this in the chat? Brianna Smith. Okay. Privatize means hide from public oversight. That leads to employees exploitation, profit skimming, and other abuses. We can kind of deduce that that's part of the thing. But yeah, is that the play? What's the big play here? There's got to be one.
Come on, man. The big play is the voting. That's the big play is staying in office so you can stay out of jail.
He definitely doesn't like the mail-in ballot situation that we got.
Yeah, because that's how most Democrats and minorities and soldiers who are not happy about this Iran war. That's how they're voting. It's not hard.
And also getting your ID cards, your true ID cards, and getting your passports in the mail.
Or your birth certificates.
Birth certificates that you got to get for that stuff in the mail. And the one that really struck me was that, I'm on I have a situation where I'm like paying the state over some months of some money that I owe. If something doesn't come in the mail on time, and I miss a payment, or something that I'm sending out gets missed, they'll set you back. I mean, this is with all kinds of things like that. That is, for me, for there's been many a time that I've been at the post office like, hey, my mailman didn't. It's funny, man, when those stories came up, all of a sudden mailboxes got jacked up in my on my block. Yeah, it was like I was getting other people's mail. Luckily, we neighbors enough to call each other. Hey, did you get my mail? Yeah, I did. I did get your medication in my mailbox. I'm glad I'm in town. Yeah, man. This is interesting. This is really interesting. It's interesting because it's so mind blowing of a situation. Everything in life is different. If we ended up getting out this year and we don't have mail service anymore, mail service is already in jeopardy. And then we don't get mail delivered anymore because of this.
Listen,
he said that's the end game to vote. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, it is. It is that, and possibly getting us to pay Trump and all of his flunkies for every aspect of life. I mean, there's that as well.
Yeah. Pops in the chat says, I've been telling people since 2016 that Trump has been systematically and strategically placing his people in key spots to achieve what he wants to accomplish. He has been playing the long con.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is it. Let's keep our eye on this. Let's definitely keep our eye on this. When we get to the second part of the show, we get down to what are we going to do about it. Now I got to think about that. What would you do without a constant mail service? Talking about communications, talking about what are you doing? I mean, a lot of us have already switched to digital and electronic and paperless and a lot of other stuff. But
do you trust that?
I mean, right now I trust it as much as I trust the mail.
Yeah.
Might even I kind of trust it more because it's instant. I've been paying rent through a service for the last 6 years. And then recently when I moved, I started having to send a check in, and even though before 6 years ago, I sent checks in for my rent. For some reason, right now it's been feeling weird. After that, after knowing that it will instantly come out, it instantly goes to that, and your rent's paid, done deal electronically. Now that I got to write a check and put it in the mail, I'll be thinking, oh, anybody messing with this mailbox? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like again, how do we? This is part of communications, which is why it's
Yeah.
interesting to me as well.
Yeah.
How do we deal with communications without a reliable mail service?
And there's a financial aspect to it because if you remember, during the Great Depression, when a lot of black families couldn't get in banks, they put their money in the safety deposit boxes and the mailboxes and used the mail system for the money. Just saying.
And there's another little bit of piece of news on this situation as well. Amazon, who is the mail carrier's actual biggest carrier or biggest customer, is peeling back to use their own system of delivery. So at the same time that this is happening, Amazon is talking about cutting down at least 30% of their business to USPS. So they really are about to run out of money. This is a different time frame. They've been in trouble. I've heard about them being in trouble over the course of years before, but this is different because of what's going on with the time frame, the administration, and the way that business is being done right now. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Who's this Mama God in here? Mama God says, I was tracking a package that was shipped from Atlanta to Decatur, and the updates had the package stuck in one spot for 4 days. No updates, no explanation. We're gonna be seeing this. Marlon said we're gonna be going door to door.
Man, gonna have to.
For real.
Gonna have to. But getting back to the end game of it all, I do want to just put out the question out there: is how many of you are planning on voting by mail?
Good question.
Or how many are going to the polls? Let us know.
Very good question. Yeah, because I think actually there's some information going on right now about voting by mail. So this is happening right now for the primaries. They're talking about it already.
Yeah. And I mean, and it could change any moment depending on how the SAVE Act plays out.
There you go. Tony Johnson in the chat is saying they are good at finding cracks in systems already in trouble. Not right, but if it was addressed and fixed previously, outcome might be different. I feel like Trump and them is making more cracks than finding cracks. I think they're inventing cracks. As a matter of fact, they had the whole Doge office looking for problems that didn't exist. But yeah, I hear what you're saying for sure. There's been a lot of systems that's been messed up, but them making plays like this, like ousting the person who's running it to put your friend in. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Going back door to door, like Marlon said, might be. Never know. We appreciate it. 7:54 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're coming up on the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And we'll be continuing the conversation over there for sure. That's the hour that we get a little bit more into the conversation. So I hope that you guys stay tuned for that and continue on. We want to hear your thoughts on a lot of this news and some of the things we're presenting. Before we go to a break, I just wanted to shout out, buddy. You put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. This car fire that happened here.
Yeah.
This brother, this Monet over here said she's feeling sad at Walgreens. Said there's a man on 28th and Dodge in the Walgreens parking lot. His whole car caught on fire, and he was living in his vehicle. Me and my mom gave him our last dollars. If anyone knows any resources or anything to help him get a room, that would be such a blessing. Everyone goes through S, and S happens for sure. I appreciate her putting that out there. If this is in Friends of First Sky Omaha, so if you have resources and people that you can think of course, we'll reach out to Miss Tamara Dwyer about this as well. But shout out to Monet for peeping this out. And also, I was thinking this picture right here reminded me of another picture that I saw, another post. Let me see if I can share this post real quick because I thought, wow, that's interesting. See if you can hear this real quick.
Yep.
Okay, nothing really to hear, but But anyway, this reel said, pretty wild moment in Omaha yesterday. Our mayor jumped out into action when a man's car caught on fire. I wonder if this is the same car.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
okay,
That's the Walgreens on. That's the Walgreens.
that's the one. He says he helped get him to safety and called 911 to make sure help was on the way. Just a reminder that leadership shows in unexpected moments. Not all heroes wear capes,
Man,
even though our mayor Superman probably should be wearing a cape. Shout out to Mayor Ewing. Yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, car on fire, and that's a real tough situation there, especially when how hopeless might you feel if you were having to live in your car in the first place, and then your car caught on fire and everything else. So
man,
yeah, please,
man.
if you were going to Friends of First Sky Omaha, and shout out to the young lady who posted that. Maybe we can figure out how to track this brother down, see if we can get him some resources and some help. And that made me, that kind of had my ears perking while we were looking at this story. I was thinking about some other things that I saw. And this is out in Minneapolis. Instead of leaving people out in the cold, Minneapolis created a Vivo village with 100 private rooms inside a warehouse where homeless can sleep safely and receive mental health addiction and housing support. And
Man,
it just kind of reiterated the fact, like, we could be using now. How many stories are we talking about? ICE buying warehouses up
come on,
in order
man.
to house people, and why these people who are selling these warehouses sell them to people who are doing stuff like this? So there's some things that we need, and we don't have as weather as bad as Minneapolis, but it'd be just as cold. And so just thinking about the idea of using warehouses, using spaces that you can get creative with here, and bring people in out of the cold. And we have a houseless issue here in our state, but it's not as bad as other places. We really could solve
Man,
this. We really could solve this with a couple strategic situations, and people getting on the same page about trying to help. So I just want to give you a shout out for posting that, because hopefully there'll be some people that can move to action. We can move to action to kind of help that brother out, and keep it on our minds what we got going on here, man. We cannot step away from it. It's us. What I've been learning from Tamara Dwyer over there at the mayor's office is that you think about homeless folks as just people being on the street, but homeless is also when you couch hopping, when you don't have a permanent space and you stay in somewhere temporarily for 2-3 months. It's hard to get on top of anything when you're in situations where you don't have a solid home base, and we got to keep it on our minds, because that's the beginning of all of it. That's the beginning
man.
of all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I not to put their business out there. I have several relatives who dealing with housing insecurity right now, and man, I didn't share my roof with some people, as far as friends and family dealing with housing insecurity, because it's a real situation, and we all have to deal with it. I also do want to give a shout out to Tamara Dwyer, who's in the chat right now, kind of giving some updates on that story, developing in real time. She says, I have outreach on it, and yes, Mary Ewing was
Superman.
was there. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to the mayor for man, just being about the job. You know what I'm saying?
So
Mean Gene would never. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
she would.
But yeah,
Come on, man.
I was just saying. I kid. But again, yeah, big shout out to Sister Tamara Dwyer, already on it, having outreach, reach out to the brother. So yeah,
True.
keep us updated on that situation. And also, yes, Paul, I did want to repost that on Friends Up, just to kind of keep it in the spirit of following the money. It's not just only about keeping an eye on what's going on with our tax dollars, or even keeping an eye on what the billionaires of the world are doing, or
Right.
even looking at the stock market of our own dollars, but making sure that we all have what we need to thrive. That's really the end of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about dollars and cents, but it's about economy, ecosystems, and we're all a part of this ecosystem. So again, we appreciate you. If you need help, well, we still do have our community resources page, so you can check that out for some resources. And again, that's not all the resources by any stretch of the imagination. So if you have any information on resources that are not on that page, you can check it out again at firstskyOmaha.com/community dash resources. Or again, you can email us if you would like for us to update some information at firstskyOmaha.com. So again, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you to everybody who has already done that. And yeah, we about halfway
Yeah.
through this thing. Paul B, what's the word?
Yeah, man. It is now 8 o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time and you live in Omaha, Nebraska, it is going to be about 70 degrees today. So
Man,
thankful to the weather changing from 7 to 70 in the course of a day or two. Can't ain't gonna complain about it because it's gonna be about 70. So that's what's up. Shout out to Tamara Dwyer, who also put this in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Let us know about this Metro Transit Omaha. I think this is pretty cool. Wheel appeal contest
mm,
open. Middle and high schoolers apply and design a bus. Speaking of
nice.
Transit Week, yeah, man, yeah, that's what's up. Appreciate that. Calling aspiring student artists, flex your skills for a chance to have your art featured on a 35-foot bus for Metro Transit Wheel Appeal Contest. This I don't know, man. This hits me. I'm the same age as hip hop, so when I think about
Hmm.
people hitting buses up, I'm like, look at the era that we're in
Hey,
now, man. This is
hey.
legitimately like, let's go on and hit the bus up real quick. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Appreciate that post. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the second hour now, but before we do that, we will jump into a break and kind of smell the coffee beans a little bit, reset, come back and talk about some of these stories that we've been into. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All B, buddy to
Hey,
God.
hey.
Feeling funky today. Let's do it.
Mm, funky.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey, hey, hey.
We're going off about 2 hours of sleep between us.
Man, tired, boss.
But we're here. And we appreciate you guys being here too. RG. Man,
I'm just saying.
y'all tripping.
Apparently, Tony Johnson been listening to her new show. He says she stated yesterday that she's not planning on re-entering elected positions in any capacity. Okay, getting comfortable in her host chair.
Oh, she's opting for more power this time around then. Okay. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like to me.
Y'all tuning into the K-Fab Mean Gene show?
Hey, I appreciate somebody doing it because I probably will never.
Yeah. Hey, that's great.
Ariel's 402 in the chat. Some people want to take lives. Some people want to save lives. I heard
Man,
that.
I'm saying.
You ain't lying. Tony Johnson says story might be exaggerated. No mention of on news of mayor being at car fire. How does the news make it exaggerated? The news don't. This is why we doing this because the news don't report on a whole lot of things. But we trust the folks
That were there.
that were there, right? Also, Mama God says thank you, Tamara, for doing what you do. Hopefully, your office can help him. I'm sure it can, man. More I learn about that office, I'm like, man, you guys are doing the work for real.
Yeah.
In a big way. Appreciate that. Pop says Las Vegas will be at 83 degrees today.
No,
Heaven help us.
93.
Ooh, he said, heaven help us when summer hits. Yeah, Pops. Man, you might have to start working from home again or something. Yeah,
It's a cool 35 out here right now.
35
Yeah, here in
in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Do us a favor, hot the like button. Make it hot.
Make it hot.
Sean McCarthy says, thanks for toughing this out. Hopefully a long ass nap in order for both of you after the show. Brother,
Yes, sir.
We can say we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
We'll see
never,
what the
never
day
really
brings, though.
Never really happens.
Never really, best of intentions. We do it. If you haven't noticed, Buddy and I work until we get sick, and then we got to go lay down. So we both trying to stop doing that. we both trying to take a nap before that happens. But yeah, that's how it's been going so far. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up too because I wanted to get back to that subject about what this was Wellness Wednesday. Shout out to Marlon Harrison for always saying happy Wellness Wednesday. We are living in a time when everything is crazy and all life is changing, and you got to kind of check in with your mental health a little bit more regularly than you probably used to do.
Word.
Yeah, it's yeah. So let us know some of the things that you do. We'd love to hear about some of the things that you do to really kind of take care of your mental health. Some self care that you do. What's changed in this world? We've been talking to some folks about possibly doing a series of videos where we interview folks about how this administration has affected your life. How's your life changed during this administration? We're definitely gonna be talking to folks about it. And by the way, if you want to be one of the people that we interview for that, let us know. But we'd love to talk to just everyday folks about how this administration has changed your life. What about our life right now that's different is made you have to change up? What did you have to change up? I know a lot of people I'm already talking to. One of the first things they start saying is, well, food prices being as high as they are has absolutely affected everything that is going on in our life. We've been talking the past couple of weeks about the gas prices because what's going on in Iran. Excuse me, Iran. Excuse me, and how the gas prices has affected us. We were talking about travel. This first part of this show. We spent a good time talking about the travel situation, being at airports for 3 and 4 and 5 hours trying to get somewhere. Airline tickets going up because of gas prices as well. And those are just some of the kind of big overall outside stuff. But what about programs? Have programs being taken away affected you? The job market is really messed up right now. We were
Yeah.
reporting on how many black women had lost their jobs. Now they're talking about how many black men are losing their jobs, and jobs are down in a big way. I'm looking at Brother Sean McCarthy, who was the last person who put something in the chat. This brother been
Yep.
on the job hunt for so long. It's
Since
a
October, I think.
full time job for him. Full time job. So that's what's up. Black Dynamite in the chat. I ain't even looking for 3 today. I just got off work. He
I
said
feel that he
even
tired.
even Black Dynamite don't want a 3 hour show today. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. Tired, boss. And yeah, that's what's up too. Also read article. This is kind of way left field, off the point, but connected. Read an article about long COVID. Everybody keeps on talking about back in the COVID days. We ain't out of the COVID days. COVID's still
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
COVID is now here permanently. So if you think that you ain't still suffering from that, the effects of that, and they're getting more information about long COVID, what had has done to our sleep cycles and everything else. So we're dealing with it in a time frame. Everything is so different, so changed. It's crazy, and it does feel crazy. Let us know what you're doing as far as your mental health is concerned. Are you noticing about yourself that you're kind of agile? You kind of roll with the punches a little bit, or do you get really set back? Do you get really confused? I don't think it's a coincidence that we're living in an age where there's a lot more people getting Alzheimer's and dementia in our
Mm.
society for a lot of different reasons. I feel like it's connected to a lot of things that are happening, that are changing, that are making things confusing and tough, and making it so that our cognitive load is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
How much can you actually hold? How much of a load can you hold cognitively without cracking? How mad can you be at some of these situations that are happening all the time? How do you? What I know it's doing something to our psyche to see injustices and people getting killed and everything that's happening
Yeah.
and not feeling like you can't do nothing about it, feeling nervous for your family going outside. I mean, it's on and on. I'd love to hear from you personally about what it is personally that has been affecting you and what it is
Well,
that you do. Hmm.
yeah, I appreciate you kind of putting that on the floor. And a few people in the chat are responding, and then there are some thoughts and some feelings that I also want to share from my time at South by Southwest, which yeah is very interesting. But let's go ahead and get into the chat. Big shout out to Brother Sean McCarthy, kind of again giving us a glimpse into his personal experiences. Which again, thank you for being open with this, because it definitely demonstrates what many Americans are dealing with. It's not just Sean McCarthy, but I'm hearing more and more stories of people being affected by this job market. He says, a lot of self-care has changed for me since I lost my job. He says, my sleep has taken a beating because of anxiety.
Mm.
So he gives us some tips. He says, try to unplug from the laptop and the phone 2 hours before you go to bed. Journal before bed. Man, shout out to Sean for that. That's something that I've tried to pick up, journaling myself. Not quite as consistent as I would like to be, but for those of you who need to decompress, it can help. It can help. He's
Brother,
also giving us. Go ahead.
I said I be writing journals. I be writing novels over here. I journal so
Yeah.
hard it's crazy. Yeah, it's the only way
Yeah.
to keep my mind straight for real.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it work for others as well. Also giving us an update on his job search. He says 178 jobs applied for so far. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But again, it's not just you, Sean. It's not an anomaly. The job market in this nation is not looking good over the course of the last several months. Again, in this first quarter of the year, it's being reported that the national economy has lost more jobs than it has created. So we're definitely going in the wrong direction. Is it AI? Is it the markets? Is it what is it? Is it all of it? Again, we'll continue to look at that.
Yeah.
Also in the chat, Marlon Harrison bringing out some tips, answering the questions. He says, please take breaks from the news, do something fun like make music and go hang out with family and friends. Okay. And remember, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Man, I appreciate that, Marlon, because personally, I have the habit of I actually watch the news. I continue to watching the news and kind of have it playing in the background while I'm working and things like that throughout my day. And just over the last couple of days, especially with a lot of this, conflict in the Middle East, this war, a lot of the coverage over that, man, it's just, you see the ugliness of war, and getting that on a day-to-day basis is it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, definitely unplug if you can. Spend some time
Mhm.
with the family, friends. Paul, what are you seeing? What do you
Yeah,
think?
definitely live alive with one another. Appreciate what Brother Marlon Harris is saying. Hanging out with family and friends, huge. Take breaks from the news, which is definitely what I had to implement for my life. For me, I definitely do that. I've kind of trained people in my life. Don't hit me up on a Sunday
Man,
and I don't even want to see Trump's face on Sunday. Like I definitely take breaks. I had to tune my phone in a way as well too, because if you can imagine, I get about 1 million calls all the time in texts. So I had to kind of tune my phone in a way that I got working hours, and then the phone goes off, and I'll only be able to people on my list that are important to me can come through, and that's it. So I had to do a whole lot of tricks in order to really kind of like make sure that I decompress on that as well. And also, I think for me too, following, figuring out health situations, realizing that your health is still super important, and you got to stay up on it. Keep some COVID tests around, and so on and so forth. Pops in the
man.
chest is also HIV and AIDS is on the upswing again, so be careful out there.
Mm,
Wow. Also, RG says, speaking of Alzheimer's dementia, they say video games can stave off those symptoms. That's what's up.
really?
Yeah, need to hear more about that for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Terrence Hayes coming in the chat saying, blessings, Omaha family. Appreciate you, bro. Pop says, I have a dear friend who was born in the USA but raised in England. She was a wreck because of worry of being detained by ICE. She is being physically affected because of the depth of her concern.
Man.
I got friends that went ahead and moved. The brother who does the Omaha history stuff, he went ahead and said, I can't deal with that pressure either. I'm going back to Canada, and took off. North Omaha history buff, and then and he had to take off too. So we're feeling it. We're feeling it there for sure. Mama Guy says, have not looked at number of black men unemployed. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics, 500,000 lost their jobs from November 25th to February 26th.
Yeah, yeah. And we're not just talking about like these are I was listening to a podcaster over the weekend, and listeners were telling their stories about how they're being impacted by this job market. And we're talking about people who at one point were making 800, 500, $600,000 a year in government jobs, and lost those government jobs due to DEI initiatives being pulled from under their feet. And now that's a lifestyle that they can't uphold. So people are losing their families, losing their kids, losing their jobs, losing everything,
Yeah.
which definitely causes anxiety, depression, all the things. And yeah, the job market is not improving. So people are dealing with all of that in real time. So again, this is definitely a timely and poignant conversation to have, especially in the season of following the money. Because let's be honest, man, health is wealth. Health is also wealth. So it's definitely connected.
Most def. I definitely want to get into some financial wealth. You said health is wealth. Wealth is health as well. So we're gonna get into what we're doing to look at that. But before we do that, tell us about your journey to Texas. I want to hear about what
Oh
you
yeah,
learned
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on the mental health, aspect of it, and just the anxiety, and just making sure that you're um checking in with yourselves, man, and just the realities that we're dealing with. You kind of talking about times changing and things like that. And it was hard to ignore the fact that there was a reported terrorist attack on the same strip that I was on just a couple of weeks ago. If you remember, there was a shooting down in Austin, Texas. It's again been reported that the man involved had some, terroristic ideologies, things like that. Um, seeing down there in groups of people in the streets. If anybody knows about or has been to South by Southwest, it's pretty much they block off the street in downtown Austin and let people kind of, bar crawl style walk from location to location. I mean, there's been incidents, in gatherings in America, people plowing through and driving through, and I've seen, seeing the police put down the barriers, and you're just thinking of those things. DeAndre, think about those things. While you're out there, and that does just kind of play a part on your mental. Does play a part on your mental. But yeah, being out there with good people does help with that. Shout out to my man DeAndre checking in, who was also out there South by Southwest with me. And yes, I did get to freestyle for Benny the Butcher.
I was
So
gonna say you talking about mental health. There you go. Let's get on stage with some legends and do your thing. Also,
oh
probably
yeah, oh yeah, oh
that's
yeah,
what
oh
you
yeah, yeah. I mean, we can talk about my South by Southwest trip another time. This
Well,
is
I want to say one last thing about it though, because growing up in California, going to stuff like the NAM show, going to NAB in Vegas, and so on, like South by Southwest. I've never been to South by Southwest, but I've been to other festivals and stuff like that in Southern California, especially. But you know, those to me are mental breaks. Those are mental. Those are taking you out of your situation, putting you in a purposeful, intentional space
mm-hmm,
to do something with a focus that celebrates and also works on getting the bag on when it comes to your art. And again, there's nothing that really shores up. We believe in like the art soldier, and the art soldiers are the only ones that's really going to battle this system and everything that's going on here is those
mm-hmm.
soldiers. So going where your people are at and sharing yourself up around those people again, and just reiterating that and putting experiences on the table and all that. That's mental health. That's mental health as far as I'm concerned. So I was very happy that you were able to get out there. I was very happy that you came back with some experiences, some newfound folks.
Yeah, man.
Ran into Rick Ross out there too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, the
you know
real one.
the, the real one.
Not Robert, the
Okay.
real one.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I didn't get that part, but all
Yeah.
right. Now I understand. You talking about Freeway?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Freeway Ricky. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what's up. Yeah, meeting some legendary folks, performing with legendary folks, performing your art. Just hearing you was back on stage was enough for me to be like,
Man,
man,
that was a beautiful
it
thing.
gave
That was,
me a mental break, bro. It gave me like some peace of mind. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
So
hey.
yeah, so it's get into your art, do your thing, travel for your art. So I was flipping through one of the channels, Netflix or something the other night, and I stopped on this metal this group of metal rock metal guys that were in this photo, and it said the premise of the movie was they broke out of jail to go play a show, and I
Mm,
and I thought, you know what, that back in the day that's exactly how I would have thought of things. Like that's a great premise for a movie. Like you because that's how down you are to go play that show. You're gonna break your band out of jail to go play this show. That's some old Blues Brothers stuff, movie stuff. You know what I mean? So
hey, hey.
yeah, so I just want to acknowledge that you might think that things are too hectic or things are too tight, and you might be in protection mode or fear mode all year long. But I definitely think that you ought to honor your art and be at the places that's being celebrated and do what you do. Be who you are. You the person.
Mhm.
If you the person that you picture yourself, the person that goes to South by Southwest every year, go. I don't care what's happening. The same things that's going on while you're there is going on while you're not. So you might as well go ahead and do your thing. You know
True.
what I mean?
Yeah, true. Also, I did want to acknowledge you mentioned the Love Warriorship. I ran into a poet laureate while I was out there, a
Yeah,
poet laureate of New York. She's out of Buffalo.
that's what's up.
So yeah, shout out to that sister, man. Definitely talented sister. Yeah, yeah. It's
You
one
ran,
thing.
see, you ran into some folks out there. That's what's up, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
hey, pounding the
Yeah.
pavement.
That's what it is. We're going to get into this conversation about these data centers and stuff coming up here. Just
Yeah.
wanted to remind you that we have the primaries coming up too, so we can't get out of this show without talking about this situation.
Oh
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
no. Finish that. But I want to carry on. I have some stories that actually I have an update on the Save Act.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
that just came up here in a second.
Definitely got to talk about it. But here's from we talk about the six to dismiss. If you missed the interview that we had with Preston Love Jr. the other day, please go back and check it out because he put something on our brain about Congressman Don Bacon.
Hmm.
We've been showing this six to dismiss, and it's the reason why is because Precious McKesson said one down, six to go. She was talking about Don Bacon, who decided he's not going to run, but Brother Preston Love Jr. put it in our mind. Well, who is going to run for that seat? And we need to be paying attention to that because that is the person. That's one of the people. If you can get three Democrats in the seats, then you are talking about impeachment at that point. So he impressed upon us that was the case to be looking at that. But we got many other folks that we're talking about trying to figure out who's running against the people that are on this list and whether or not they're going to get in there too. And the primaries are coming up, so please, get your IDs straight, find out your polling place, and make sure that you double check on your polling place because it's probably changed. You can see that everybody's really trying to do something about switching those things up and making it harder for you to do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so just wanted to make mention of that, and also just also real quick, just want to make mention. When we talk about Wellness Wednesday and taking care of our health is in Buddy says health is wealth. I also say wealth is health because right now, especially in this country, we have a hard time taking care of our health if we don't have some loot. So we got to kind of
Yeah.
also wait a minute. Oh, I got the wrong. Look. I'm jumping ahead on this one. I'm trying to find the right. Hold on one second. I'm trying to share the the right screen here on this. Let me see if I can find that real quick. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a real generic deal here from the Washington Post. Seven take these 7 steps financial wellness check in. This is stuff we probably already all know about, of course, which is keep an active eye on your finances. Also, continue to save for retirement. If you can, you gotta save. They're saying even if you can't save anyway. Save and just go try to find more money because you got to think about your retirement. Also, number 3, consider your asset allocation. Holding an appropriate mix of stocks, bonds, and cash can help mitigate the effects of volatility on the portfolio. So, if you haven't gotten into investing, it might be something you need to look into. It's not going to work with just savings these days for sure to get where you need to get to. Also, keep a healthy and long-term perspective on market volatility. There's a little bit of lean here on you learning a little bit about the market and figuring that part out. You don't have to become, master stockbroker, but it's good to invest in some things in order to really make that happen, even if it's just a 401k through your job. So I'm just thinking about some of that as well. Also, make your 2020 IRA contribution. So again, a couple products they're pushing here for you to be able to save some money and make that money, not just sit there, but also multiply. That's part of it. And this is more practical stuff. Here is what I'm leaning towards here. Talk with your spouse about your finances and bring your adult children in the conversation. Households that tend to divide and conquer. One spouse may take care of the day by day finances, while the other handles the long term investments. Both spouses, however, need to understand the entire picture of the household finances should something happen to the other or the marriage. Lots to kind of make sure that you're keeping up on. It's easy to just live day by day and be like, man, we got to take care of this or that. But thinking about long term is always the thing. And then also the 7th thing, help school age children learn about money. That's always a really good one to make sure that we keep in mind as well. So appreciate that very, very much. And again, these are just some generic things that I found real quick on making sure that our wealth is healthy as well, that we're still in it and making it happen. But it puts it on my mind to make sure that I'm looking at my own finances and check my own balance sheet out and understand what's going on with my spending habits and so on and so forth. So got to check it out. Appreciate it. Buddy, I say is this link, you want me to put this link in the chat? Is that?
No, that was the link you just went through.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look for it.
Yeah. If anybody wants to check that out a little closer, there's the link to that. Appreciate that. Yep. Tony Johnson said investing now puts you in a position of ethics versus profit. All the money making stocks are tied to unethical business or efforts. Not all of them. Definitely got to do your research, but not all of them for sure. But yeah, something to think about as well. If you're going to invest, I mean, you can invest in private jails if you want to. So yeah, you got to kind of think about where you're going with it for sure.
There is that. And kind of side note on that aspect, I personally have been looking into this Think or Swim, I think it was called. So shout out to brother Don Curry who kind of tipped us off to that. Again, if you're not familiar, Think or Swim is a program, a platform where you can get actually $100,000 and play money, if you will, kind of fake money, pseudo money to test your knowledge and expand your knowledge and trading and stock options, and you can do stock market, 4chan, forex, options, all kinds of things. So yeah, if anybody again is interested in getting more financial knowledge, getting into the market, learning more about it, check it out. Think or Swim. And
yeah, I'm glad you reminded me about that. I'm definitely gonna do that myself.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a quick break, then we'll come back and jump into the conversation. We got a little bit more to get into and talk about. We appreciate you guys hanging with us through the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Stay tuned, y'all. We will be right back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy to God. Man, what's going on, y'all? Think or Swim, great tool. Right on, Terrace Hayes. I appreciate you, man. Definitely talk about it. Is that a Think or Swim an app? I don't think it's an app, right?
I don't know. Just Google it. Think or Swim. Yeah. It's I want to say Charles Schwab. I think is Senator Charles Schwab.
You was thinking, yeah, Schwab, I believe it is. I was checking out somebody on Instagram that was talking about partnerships between neighbors that really kind of sparked my interest. She was reminding people that you don't have to buy a house through a bank. You can buy a house from a private owner. You guys just have to have a agreement. And a lot of times we always talk about whether or not we believe in the concept of time. Don't really believe in the concept of time, but we believe in the concept of agreements. I always make that joke because I'm like, if we agree that we're gonna start at 7:00, then that's the only time to be paying attention to. It don't matter what the time is, it matters what the agreement is. And it just reminded me about that part, like what they did. Banks didn't even come into the equation for buying houses until 1932. Before then, everybody bought a house from the buy from the owner. So they made a deal with the owner. Even now they have like standard contracts that do like a 5% interest rate, which is great. All it is that you know your neighbor maybe, and you're going to buy a house from your neighbor, and you guys shake hands, put a little contract together, and you make the payment to the neighbor instead of to the bank. And it just kind of really reinforced this idea, every time we get to this part of the show where we're like, what are we going to do and how do we do things on our own without these institutions, without things that are put in place here to take from us? How
Mm,
can we do that? And it all comes down to the coalition building and solidarity that has to happen with everything. And this is how everything got built in the first place. So it just
right.
kind of brings me back to that idea when we're thinking about making sure that we are taking steps for our financial wellness as well. To remember that we better really kind of dig into some investment clubs, and we should really dig into doing business with each other. And there's got to be a level of trust. Every business meeting I go to, they talk about how one of the biggest reasons why we can't do business in the Black community is because of lack of trust.
Mm,
And we have to get to the point where we are understand that there's some mutual destruction in us not helping each other out, not working, not honoring our own agreements with each other.
man, yeah.
It's a huge thing, but it makes all the difference. It's the only thing we're missing, the only thing we're lacking.
Playing
So
ourselves.
yeah, man. So just want to put our thought process back into this kind of mutual aid feeling situation. Figuring out how to have some solidarity, how to have some coalition building, and get back to being able to help each other. And what that really means, not just going and go into a Black business and buying some soap. It means us really deciding that we're going to go into contract with each other and do some business, do some real business, and build some wealth. So we have a great opportunity to do that because it's not done all over the place. These are some new thoughts or some thoughts that are being we're being reminded by on how to
Hmm.
do some things. We got to do it though. So how do we do that? Well, we start with our communication. We start with getting on the same page. We start with having respect for each other when we're speaking. We start with understanding each other's prowess when it comes to what we're doing in business, and then it also ends up that we better really start to rethink how we deal with agreements with each other, how we honor agreements. So anyway, just wanted to talk about that a little bit because this is kind of the reason behind the reason why we do this show. The reason why the show has morphed into what it is so that we can do that. We can build those kinds of relationships with folks. This is why we're adamant on being respectful to each other, being respectful to guests, respectfully disagreeing, so on and so forth. We won't be able to get any solidarity together or any trust together if we don't mess with each other like that. And that's the thing in our community in a big way. I don't mess with that person. I don't mess
Hmm.
with him. I don't mess with her. We do that. We do that over they acting funny. No, they acting funny. So I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. And we can't get anywhere with that. We got to get to the point where we can build some coalition and some trust and some focus and some solidarity when it comes to the focus of where we're trying to go, what we're trying to do. We there's people in other states right now. I just read an article about 77 couples that bought 150 acres and built a whole community there with each other, and they were in solidarity. 77 couples got in solidarity with each other all pool their money and build a community. So it can be done. We just have to figure out how we can get to that around here and move on with it. So anyway, just want to throw that out there before we jump back into the conversation. But I appreciate you guys bearing with us and listening to when we get on our soapboxes, listening to our rhetoric, and talking about some of these news and how these things are associated with what it is that we're trying to do with our lives here to make lives better for us in this community in a big way. So appreciate you, brother Terrace Haynes. If we have to talk real soon on that because I know that you got some ideas about investment clubs and stuff like that we should be introducing and talking to the people about. So I'll definitely get with you soon on that. In the meantime, between time though, buddy, what's next on the agenda?
Yeah, just actually have several things lined up, kind of trying to figure out where to plug in the flow of the conversation. Um, I'll go ahead and dive into it because we are running short on time, and this is something we definitely will have to pick up. I don't even think we have enough time to speak about this situation as far as the
Mm,
Google proposing Nebraska data center again, requiring more power than all of Lincoln.
that's wild.
Speaking of solidarity, this is something that we've seen other communities join together to fight, and are we prepared to do the same in the Omaha area? Again, this is something that already exists in Nebraska, so not necessarily something that's new. Google already has data centers in the Omaha area. also has data centers in Lincoln, and I think one more other area in the Nebraska, in the state of Nebraska. But again, this new proposed thing is a whole nother beast because again, it will be the largest power plant in the state. Actually, producing more power than the largest power plant in the state if it goes to the scale that it is being proposed. Again, the proposal was outlined in a document shared at a private meeting at a Nebraska Public Power District in January. The Flatwater Free Press obtained the documents under an agreement, and it would not identify the source. The plans have not been disclosed publicly to date, but they are in the move already. As outlined in the documents, the proposed project names three companies: Google, which will be a private energy developer, manager, and operator; Tenaska, who will be a part of this as well; and also natural gas and carbon dioxide pipeline company Tallgrass Energy will also be a part of this. Tenaska, which is an Omaha-based company. Again, we've talked about the Tenaska Arts Center, which is named after the company and, of course, the family. But again, Tenaska will be responsible for powering the new data center, while Tallgrass potentially will supply both natural gas and transport the captured carbon, according to the documents. Again, talking about the possible environmental impact of this all. Of course, the governor's office has been integral in this role. Actually, the proposal hinged on a passage of a bill in the Nebraska legislature. The legislation, which again was proposed by Governor Pillen's office, would allow for the creation of privately built or owned power facilities to power a large industrial customer, something that we've actually spoken to Senator Carol Blood about this possibly being passed in the legislature, as far as again getting the data centers off of our public power districts, but still all of the issues that are posed with private power entities or these data centers themselves generating their own power, and what kind of environmental and also economic issues this may cause.
There you go. Jumping to the chat, our resident expert on the data center situation, Anthony Rogers Rice, says there are currently 11 data centers operating in the Omaha metro area. Also, there are proposals to bring as many as 10 more under discussion right now.
Yep.
That's wild. This one that shout out to Flatwater Free Press for this article as well. Just really appreciate that. If you haven't read this yet, I definitely suggest you go back and check it out. One thing I know about Flatwater, they're great with the data digging, man. They dig into the data in a big way. Shout out to Matt Wynn, who taught us about that. Documents show the tech giant could build a massive new data center powered by a privately built and owned gas-fueled power plant. This is what you just described. I think it's really interesting, the Tenaska connection there too. That's like, wow.
Yeah, it is.
All of a sudden, that name is everywhere. It's really interesting. Yeah, that's incredible. So you're definitely gonna keep our eye. I think Anthony Rogers Wright has some meetings and things that are coming up that he was talking about that we need to keep our eye on. He says Tallgrass Energy is particularly important as they have already worked with elements of the Nebraska Democratic Party on community benefit agreements for CO2 pipelines. That's interesting. Very interesting part there. Pops is giving us a little perspective from Vegas. He says Henderson has a Google data center, but power rates haven't risen from it. Nevada Energy uses a special tariff levied against Google, so those costs aren't passed to residents. Interesting.
Okay.
We have heard about this. We've heard this from a lot of the people that are running on that. Whenever I am in the room when there's politicians who are running for office, are asked about these things, they talk about that. Well, they give this kind of, well, inevitably it's coming. So what we have to do is try to figure out how to offset the cost so that it's not passed on to the citizens. It just seems like, yeah, are you really going to be able to do that? And furthermore, is it the decision is made? Are more coming? So yeah, what do we do about that part as well? Again, I'm very anxious to see how some of these meetings that Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about, how they go, and some of the efforts. We might have to have you on to talk about some of the efforts that you guys are having on. I know that you're doing some pushback on the data centers in general. So what happens if they're here? What can we do about that is my next question.
Yeah. As of right now, Tenaska has eyed 4 different counties as possible locations for their proposed data center. Gage County, where there's about 1,000 acres that they're looking at. Also, Lancaster and Cass counties have also been added to the list, and Oto County, all of which I believe are located in southeast Nebraska.
Okay. We got some names to be following the money on tall grass. Definitely Tanaska. That's so interesting. Tanaska is a part of this.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Wondering why they came up with the name. I was like, okay, well, there's, look into it a little further, and interesting that now business, we're hearing about them doing business around here on top of that. So, yeah.
Also, speaking of names, to Anthony Rice's right point, some of the senators and elected officials who are behind this, who are pushing this, one of which is Senator Myron Dorn, whose district includes Gage and Lancaster counties. He's actually the legislature that signed an agreement with Tanaska earlier this year, according to Flatwater Free Press reports, allowing the company to have exclusive rights and option to purchase about 80 acres of land, of his personal land, in Gage County. So a little bit of following the money on that one, as well as we have an elected official that kind of is in line to benefit personally, financially, from this, if his family's farmland is sold to Google for the development of this land, or of this data center. So that's also something to look out for. I'm just throwing it out there.
There you go. Also, we're not just worried about the energy bill going up. It's also the fact that they'll be using a lot of water in this area as well by doing those two. We've learned that too. So there you go. Herbine gives us a grand rising, everyone. Appreciate you coming in there. Most definitely. Tony Johnson is saying Tanaska is well known for recent lawsuits and penalties in Texas. Show us the receipts on that. Definitely, if you got any articles on that, throw it in Friends of First Sky Omaha so we can definitely check that out. Because Tanaska, the name is on my mind now for real. Definitely got to dig in. Big way. Yeah, appreciate that. Again, we know. I feel like we know they're coming. That doesn't mean cease efforts to try to push them away. There are other cities and states that have done that. And then there's the people. Then there's the group of people who I keep on hearing about some kind of compromise, which is what sounds like they did in Henderson, according to Pop, which is figure out how to make it so the costs aren't passed on to the residents. But there's still the environmental side of things that is concerning, even if the costs aren't passed on. So there you go. Appreciate you bringing that one up. 843 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, where you at?
Man, I actually have a lot of stories still hanging in the balance, so obviously not going to get to them all. Thinking about what's next, and just really the connection, because swirling around in the back of my mind is also while we talk about these data centers, voting and kind of the role that voting is playing with it, especially what they're doing with all this pulling of the rows and just what they're going to do with the data that they're gathering as far as again, voter information. This mad dash hunt for voter fraud. Just kind of wondering what's going on with that. And I did mention that I had an update as far as the SAVE Act just yesterday. It was voted. It did go through the Senate and did make its way through the Senate on a 51-48 vote to advance the measure, despite opposition from some elected officials. So this will go now to the next round of congressional debate to possibly pass as a bill. Again, talking about the SAVE Act, which, if you don't know, stands for the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. Again, SAVE Act, which Trump wants to push through the Senate despite, again, staunch Democratic opposition. Under the act, it would basically change how we vote, the requirements for voting. Of course, we talked about this briefly on the show, requiring passports and birth certificates to be present when voting. That's something that seemingly has already been put in place. Actually, speaking of Texas, there was a lot of controversy and chatter around the James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett race, where some voters were saying that they were turned away because they didn't have their birth certificate or their names were purged off of rolls and things like that. So this is definitely something we'll continue to keep an eye on as far as, getting ready for 6 to dismiss the midterm elections. The SAVE Act can definitely rock definitely, dictate how this whole thing plays out, for better or worse. So we will see.
I always think about the way that this administration always talks about the fraud that it doesn't exist, and
Hmm.
what they are trying to do to battle all that, and also, but also the rhetoric on if this election gets lost, what that means is that he's going to call foul, call fraud if it doesn't go the way he wants it to go. I think that's pretty interesting to consider as well. While all these things are moving in those directions. So, and I'd like to see what Nebraska's going to do about that because, I kind of have an idea, but I also know that there's a lot of fight back, a lot of pushback too.
Hmm.
Be interesting to see.
Well, I will push back a little bit as far as it's not necessarily no fraud going on. If you remember, it has been reported that there is fraud by Elon. Again, it's been reported here in Georgia when they raided the election commission office in Fulton County. That actually came out from that Elon's American PAC was sending pre-filled out ballots to voters in Coweta County here in Georgia. So yeah, you can't fill out people's ballots for them. That's not. Yeah.
Anthony Rogers, right in the chat, has said this before. He says, "Save Act only passes a motion to debate. It is not a chance. It has not a chance of surviving the filibuster." So I've heard you say that before. I'm hoping that is the case. Um,
Hopefully.
yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see what that's what I mean by, like, there's some people that's fighting. So I definitely want to see what the debate's going to be on this. I'm hearing rumblings already, people chiming up, but it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that as well.
Yeah. According to the Hill, tempers are boiling as far as this debate goes. It is going to be a very heated debate on the Hill, if you will.
Mhm.
One of the proponents, according to the article, Mike Lee, who's a Republican from Utah, says that he suggested on social media that Republican senators who don't want to force Democrats to wage a talking filibuster to oppose the legislation should be ousted from the Senate. So again, it's very, very contentious situation. But again, it's going to impact all of us as far as the vote goes and how this midterm shakes out. So yeah.
I hope you're right, brother Anthony. Anthony Rogers Rice showing some real confidence in this. He says it's not going to pass. No chance in hell. It's good that the Senate will debate it so people will expose themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope you're
We'll
right.
see where the folks stand in this thing.
Hope you're right. Marlon Harrison, appreciate you chiming in too. He says that, the Save Act hurts women voters who change their
Mhm.
name when they get married. So this is what I'm hearing a lot of people on the other side of this debate are saying, that there's not enough fraud, going on. People are not eligible to vote. There's not a lot of people that are trying to do that, and it's just kind of a made up thing that they're saying is not even the case. But the change to say that what it will do is hurt people that are eligible to vote that can't do that, can't get their birth certificate, or women who change their last name, or everybody else would be affected by this for whatever reason. So this is the reason why they're fighting so hard on that too. And I think, when you think about Democrats fighting that hard, I think they're going to fight because it's a lot of their base that they feel like they will lose the votes from if something like this passes. So I think
Mhm.
you might be right. You might be right. Anthony Rogers Rice says you need 60 votes in the Senate to survive a filibuster. The Senate does not have 60 votes. There are at least 3 GOP senators who will vote against it, including Collins, Murkowski, and Tillis. Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, so that and Democrat. They're not getting any Democratic support at all, and a couple of GOP people against it as well. So they won't get the vote. So, like I said,
We'll
uh,
see.
we'll see. And I appreciate you giving us some declarative statements on that, and your confidence is making me rethink it and want to look at it again. I'm hoping. We'll stay. We'll leave it at that. Pops in the chat says they found something like 0.0007% of fraud, and most of it was Republican. Again,
Yep.
a created issue to suppress the Democratic vote. There you go.
Yep. Yep. And it doesn't stop there. Kind of to throw this story in as we wrap up the episode. And we spoke to brother Preston Love Jr. on Monday, who kind of tipped us off to some of the things that the GOP is doing, and we didn't really get to talk about it too much. But the situation with Brother Mark Martinez, it does seem like again the GOP is doing really pulling out all the stops that they can to really dictate and impact the election as it's coming up. Not only again pushing, having their senators push legislation at the federal level that will undermine how we vote and who gets to vote, but also on the local level, we have the GOP in the state of Nebraska undermining the credibility of Democratic candidates, not just Mark Martinez, but I saw again also Flatwater Free Press reported on another candidate that was attacked, candidate Burbank from the ballot.
I didn't hear about this one.
Yeah. Again, Secretary of State Bob Evnen, apparently, according to Nebraska Examiner, has taken U.S. Senate candidate Cindy Burbank off the ballot as the state's top election official confirmed Tuesday. And this is again coming from the Nebraska Republican Party, who filed a complaint with the Secretary of State Bob Evnen last week about Burbank, arguing that she is not a quote unquote good faith candidate because she has no plans to serve in the office she seeks. State law says that the Secretary of State can reject a candidate filing if the state's top election official determines someone is not a quote unquote good faith candidate. However, in the case of Brother Mark Martinez, he wasn't going for that and has escalated his situation all the way to the Nebraska Supreme Court. Again, Brother Mark Martinez himself is suing to get back on the ballot after he was taken off the ballot for the Douglas County Sheriff. Again, after the GOP sent in a complaint arguing that he was ineligible to file for election to the office under a 2024 state law, again, that requires a candidate for sheriff to have a certificate or a diploma from the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center, something that's kind of a technicality, as Martinez did serve as a law enforcement agent for several decades, even working as a marshal. So again, very interesting to see what the GOP is doing at every stop to try to, put their finger on the pulse of this midterm election. And again, a lot of it goes back to the Trump effect, people trying to keep Trump in office so he can continue, stroking their ego and continue to stay out of jail. Just call it what it is.
There you go. Appreciate that update on that as well. I did see that from Precious McKesson. Shout out to her for putting this in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. The candidate files legal challenge to stay on ballot for Douglas County Sheriff, so he's not going down without a fight. Shout out to Mark Martinez for continuing on. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that works. I did see when that announcement came, Precious McKesson put a post out that was like, "We ain't done yet. Watch out." So I was anticipating that something was going to happen. So and this is the answer to that. He's going to take it to the courts. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, and we're still reaching out to these candidates too. And, they're heavy in their races right now, but we're still reaching out to see if we can have a conversation with them. So any of these candidates that we're talking about that we're looking at inviting on the show or doing an interview with them offline, off the live stream, just a video interview. Just get your questions ready. If you have anything specific that you want us to really kind of ask them and dig in and see where they're at, that you can't get from things they've already said or the other reports or their website. Any insights that you want to talk about a little bit, let us know. We'll add those in as well as we talk to these candidates coming up for sure. So 8:54 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. We're coming around to the end of the show, and we're definitely doing that. Before we get out of here, though, I did want to make mention for one of our institutions here in Omaha, No More Empty Pots. They put a message out the other day. Speaking of following the money and things changing in our money, things getting tight. Here's a message from No More Empty Pots that they put out a few days ago. As many of you know, the nonprofit sector is facing turbulent times, and the resources available to support our work are fluctuating. That first line right there, Buddy always says, "We getting a haircut." Nonprofit world getting a haircut. That's what that means. He says, despite this, our resolve to serve our community is unchanged. No More Empty Pots remains committed to strengthening community through food, education, and connection. In response to this current reality, we are undergoing a detailed review of our structure and budget. Our goal is to ensure the organization's long-term sustainability. The result will be changes in our staffing, facilities, and service model, so we can be the best stewards of our available funding. Through this process, our programs and mission will continue. To our staff, volunteers, partners, and funders who have invested in our mission for over 15 years, we thank you deeply. The work has been possible because of you and will remain possible because of you. We will update the community after changes are finalized, and we have communicated to those impacted directly first. Thank you for your continued support at this time. A letter like this got me nervous. It sounds like they're going to be maybe shutting some facilities down, definitely letting some people go. Resources are sparse, and they got to kind of rethink of how they're going to do that to even stay alive. It's making me nervous. I think they're going to do their best with sticking around, but it makes me go, hey, we better kind of make sure that we talk about this a little bit and decide, that this is one of the institutions in our community that has been doing really good work. I can't help but think about the times that they were delivering food to everybody during the pandemic when everybody was on lockdown. No More Empty Pots kicked in a huge way for the community. So if you are inclined, you have some discretionary funds, you have some money that you want to help donate to them. Maybe get on a regular donation situation with them as well, so they can keep the resources going and everything else. We were just talking about the greenhouse that they're using and the store that they had open went from one time a week to all week long. And I think they started cutting hours again over there too. So we talk about food deserts, but right there on 30th, we could be getting fresh produce and all kinds of things there too. We have to remember to frequent those places and to make it work for them. Support. Got to. So shout out to all the staff and everybody at No More Empty Pots and everybody that put that thing together. We still rooting for you, and we'll see what we can do about helping as much as we can.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, last 3 minutes. That's pretty much it that I have. I have one last story, and I kind of just pose a question as we get up out of here. We're talking about solutions. Of course, we share some tips on how to take care of ourselves mentally. Even share some tips on financial things to look into, save. And this is one option that's coming out of the legislature, but it's something that will definitely, if completed, if it manifested, will impact all of our bottom lines. Talking about a possible halt or really end to property, income, and inheritance taxes in the state of Nebraska. This is a petition campaign aimed at eliminating Nebraska property, income, and inheritance taxes and forcing the legislature to find alternative revenue sources over for the 2026, but hopes to regain or regroup, for 2028. It's called the EPIC option, which again has fallen short for 2026, but EPIC option 2.0 effort to pass a constitutional amendment again is projected to raise, I guess they're planning on raising $1.86 million for this idea. This is something that, of course, other states have implemented, states like Texas, who do not have an income tax. I believe Florida is another one of those states. What say you? Thoughts about this as far as bringing this to Nebraska? Of course, this will help a lot of us on our bottom lines, but in a state that's dealing with the deficit, what say you? And again, nothing we can necessarily have to get into too much. We can kind of round back around and sleep on that a little bit, and we can come back and talk about it next episode as we continue to follow the money. Or if you got some thoughts on that, Paul, go ahead.
No, we could definitely save it. We're coming to the end of the show here, so we appreciate that you posing that question, thinking of something to think about as well. And we'll continue to talk about what we're talking about here in future shows. The beauty of what we're doing around here is this ongoing conversation in order to kind of get to the bottom of some things as well. It's not just whatever's in the news right now, and then we move on from it. We have to continue those conversations. You got to have several of them to get deeper into the subject and figure out what we're going to do about it. So appreciate that very, very much. Mama God is asking, what are the trade-offs? Do you know what the trade-offs are?
As far as where the finances are coming from? Well, I mean, there has been some proposals like, legalizing marijuana, things like that, gambling, things like that. Again, the idea is to find alternative forms of revenue aside from. So again, yes, I would say some of those trade-offs would be finding sources like legalizing marijuana, gambling, casinos, things like that.
Yeah. Flatwater also has an article on about why we have the restaurant tax that we have as well. Just remember how many times we get a tax. We taxed on stuff. We taxed on restaurants. We got a sin tax happening now.
Man,
It's constant. It's constant. How many taxes do you have to touch in order to get things right? So these are questions that we'll have for another day. We'll check it out. We're anticipating that we have our monthly meetup with the mayor on Friday, so stay tuned for that. We're still getting confirmation on that though, so we kind of got to go by the mayor's schedule there. So we're anticipating that, but we'll see if he shows, if he's able to show. If not, it'll be very soon as well. And also, again, if you have other senators that if you're listening outside of these of District 11 and District 2, I believe it is, because we have Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashley Spivey on every other week. If you live in a different district and want us to reach out to your senator, please let us know, and we'll get them on every other week so we can have a conversation there too. We appreciate that. Margie says syntax, the syntax, right? Yeah. So yeah, definitely do that because we'll have Senator Cipher coming up on Monday as well. So stay tuned for some more conversation with some of these elected officials so we can kind of understand what's really going on and from their perspective as well, and kind of dig in a little bit to that, that lane of political power that we need to understand. Also, RG saying, hey, y'all, what's the name of that African spot downtown that's going to have the lunch buffet on Saturday? It's called Africa
on a plate.
On a plate.
Omaha.
So definitely check that out. He says, me and my lady friend might check that out instead of going for breakfast. That's what's up.
Okay. Yeah. Support it.
RG, what you know about that? What you know about lady friends? What you
I wasn't gonna put the brother on blast, but
yeah. I'm just thinking about the term right here. That's an old head saying.
Yeah. Take out his lady friend in his walking suit.
In his walking suit. When I was living out here, my great grandfather back in the 90s, he used to say that all the time. Yeah, buddy, you got to find somewhere else to go tonight. I have one of my lady friends that's coming over. Find somewhere else to go. Where am I supposed to go? It doesn't matter. You can't be here though.
Not here.
Lady friends, I love that. That's what's up. Appreciate that. That's how gentlemen talk right there.
There you go. Pinkies up.
We're gonna get out here.
See, I wasn't gonna put you on blast, bro. I wasn't. No, that's all P. That's all.
You did say it.
Yeah, you did put your business out there. I am. But hopefully we can help. Africa on the plate. Check it out.
Africa on the plate. Check it out for sure.
$17.99. All you can eat. Hopefully it appreciates.
Yeah, if you go set a time for it, I'll say give yourself about 15 minutes to find a parking spot and to walk up to the joint because
that part.
That's what they're dealing with over there for sure. But appreciate you. We're gonna get out of here. We appreciate that. Pop says thanks for another great show. Yeah, you guys get some rest, and we will see you on Friday. Appreciate you, Pops.
Yeah, we'll try.
But the guy, what you got to say for the peoples?
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Really, really appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Big shout out to my bro DeAndre for tuning in. Appreciate you for tapping in with us this morning. And catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey. Yeah, man. So until then, take care of yourselves, man. Paul B.
Yes,
take
sir.
it away.
Peace. Appreciate you, her being. Peace to all. Appreciate that very much. Shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Appreciate everybody that comes into the chat. Appreciate all the ghost listeners as well. Every time I go around town, I'm hearing about people who are checking out the show. Can't necessarily comment, but are very much a part of what's going on. And also that spread the word. Shout out to everybody who shared the show on your page too. And also shout out to everybody who is a member of the channel, all the $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. Appreciate you. We only got a handful of folks, so we are definitely trying to expand that out. If you find what we're doing is valuable enough to help us continue this, then please become a member. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the join button, become a member, and do a reoccurring amount of money that will help us continue this and also expand the journalism side as well, which is what we're working on this year too, among other things. So shout out to everybody who is been helping us out so far, and also that we do business with. If you do, we do advertising business as well, and also services when it comes to video work and so on and so forth. So we have some things that also we do on a regular basis in order to keep this thing going. So
Yes,
if you don't want to donate, do some business with us, whatever it is, let us know. Hit us up at firstsky@gmail.com with your ideas. Maybe we can get into it. We definitely have some rates for our advertising. You see, we take breaks and we do some advertising in between there, and we also do that on our social media channels and on our website. So there is a rate sheet available as well. There's a lot of people that hit us up with their events and their businesses and friends of First Sky Omaha, and we let some of those through. But we don't let everything through because this is because we want more participation there. So if you're a person that is just constantly putting your business on Friends of First Sky Omaha, but you never comment,
Spamming.
you never offer any news that's coming up, you don't come onto the show and chat time, then we're gonna do what we'll end up doing is just sending you our rate sheet and saying, well, if you just want to advertise with us, then we can do that too, but it's gonna cost. So we do that in order to keep this show rolling. So we appreciate everybody that's been a part of it so far. We following our money too. We got to follow our money too. With that, we'll see you on Friday. Like I say, we're anticipating our monthly meetup with the mayor. We haven't gotten confirmation on his visit yet, but we assume that probably is coming. If not Monday, then very soon. Like I say, we work around the mayor's schedule. He's one of the hardest working men in politics in a big way.
Man.
Shout out to Superman Ewing.
Hey.
Right here, y'all. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green